What's going on, people? Just a thought. Um, it occurred to me that for a long time, and I think a lot of people can relate to this as to how what influences what they do. The clothes they wear. Them aspiring for the biggest, best house, the fanciest car, and clothes and jewelry and all that good stuff. And it's the way I think about it, myself personally. I think I did a lot of things to impress people. I think, and I wouldn't necessarily admit that because, it's an ego thing. You want to be the big man on campus, or, you want to be the flyest or whatever, and have all the best stuff and all this and that. And, what I realize is that, most of the time people don't care about that. I think people, myself for a long time, it was in my own mind to where I felt like I had to do all this stuff so people would look at me and figure, oh, okay, he's somebody and all this and that. And it's like, no one cares, man. You do all this stuff thinking that people are looking at you and people feel like, or you always gonna assume, oh, I don't want people to think this of me or this and that, or see me like this or see me like that. And a lot of times no one's paying attention to you. No one cares. Enough to really make it an issue because they got their own lives, they got their own situations going on. So it's like, why am I gonna dedicate my life to worrying about what you're doing? Because at the end of the day, no one cares. I think we care more than the people. And by us making all these assumptions that, oh, everybody's going to look at me and they're going to think this and they're going to think that, half the time they don't care. I can't recall, worried about what somebody's doing with their life and paying attention to that. And I think that's one of the things that social media has really, that image that social media is portrayed is that if you're posting stuff online, you gotta be the flyest. You gotta show yourself on vacations or driving this fancy car and all this and that. And it's just like, you know, people don't care. People don't. They don't base their lives on what the next person is doing. But everybody always assumes that everybody's looking and, oh, what are they gonna say if I go out looking like this or looking like that? No one cares. If you walk in somewhere, some random person is not going to stop and point at you. Oh, look what you got on, and look what you drive, and all this and that. And my thing is, if that's the case, I would think that person would need to seek some type of help because if you think about it, what does it matter what the next person is doing, and why you're making it such a mission or a big deal to point it out? It's like, really? I don't know you, but you commenting on what I'm doing or what I'm this and that, like it matters to you. It does nothing to improve your life. It does nothing to change your life. Worrying about the next person and what they're doing. But people make it a mission. I think egos are involved, and they feel like, I gotta be the best and this and that. And it's just like, who really cares? Who really cares enough to really put people on a pedestal, like that? Because they got the flyest this and the flyest that and the best this and the biggest that. And it's just like, most people don't care. And I did for a long time where I felt like, I had this image and I had this image I was portraying, and I had to make sure I had fly stuff and all this and that to impress people. And it's like, what's the point? Because a lot of them people that you're trying to impress don't care. They're not waking up or going to sleep thinking about what you're doing or what you're wearing and all this and that. They don't care. So my question to anybody would be, why should you? Why should you care about what people think about you, or impressing people? For what? What are you gaining? You getting a reward? Will your life be forever in abundance because you're impressing people. And it's just like, how do you know if you're really impressing people? Like, why does it matter if you feel like you got to impress somebody, impress people? What does it matter? My thing is, do you, don't change who you are because you're so focused on trying to impress people that you don't know and don't care, because they don't care, man. No one really takes the time and energy to really acknowledge somebody like that, you know. And the way I see it, they're either going to hate on you because of your position or whatever, which, I mean, that's another thing. It's like, why hate on people and stuff like that? But that happens. It's like, either you're going to have people hating on you when you up, when you got things going for you and everything's going well, it's going to be people hating on you. And it's just like, but if you down, they laughing at you. But at the end of the day, why should it matter whether people hate on you or when you up and they laughing at you when you down? Because it doesn't matter, whether they crack on you or not. You still yourself, and there's always a possibility to get out of any situation you may be in to where you're down. So, you know, and I fell victim to that for a long time, because it's like, what am I gaining for trying so hard to impress people that that really don't care? Because most of the time they don't. And me myself personally, I don't like a lot of things. I don't really pay attention to like I used to, because it doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. I mean, your life will not improve. It will not improve with you focusing on what the next man doing or what the next woman doing or anybody for that matter. It's like, yo, but okay, and there's nothing wrong with being happy for somebody and all that. Because my thing is, I'm grateful, to be in the position I'm in, and anybody that's successful in this and that, I'm happy. I'm happy for them. I'm not paying attention to them too much to where I'm focused on exactly what they're doing, this and that. I'm all for it, man. Anybody getting any success, I'm congratulating, man, because I like seeing that. I like seeing people succeed. I'm not quick to point the finger and laugh at somebody for misfortunes, because that can happen to anybody, man. So, you got to be careful, because just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean it'll never happen. So it's almost like you have to watch what you do, because I mean, anybody's no one's devoid of anything going on, nature or anything. And it's like, you stay positive, and you congratulate, and you keep it moving, but you don't take time to focus on what the next person is doing, and even have any feelings, because it does nothing to help you. It does nothing to improve your life. So why waste time and energy focusing on the wrong thing or the negative aspect of things? So, and I noticed, it's to the point where people ruin their life because they so focused on trying to impress people, and trying to be the best at this or look the best and all this and that. And it's just like, who cares? No one cares, man. No one cares. No one cares but you. No one cares but you. And it comes to the point where you lose track of who you really are, because you're so focused on what everybody's gonna think of you. And it's like, people have their thoughts, people have their feelings, people have their opinions, but why should it matter to you? Because you're in control of your life, you're in control of your destiny, you're in control of your success. And it doesn't matter what people think, it doesn't matter their opinions. It really doesn't matter. It matters, only thing that matters is what you think and what you aim to do, and you focus on that. You don't focus on what people are going to say. Oh, I don't want nobody to say this about me. Who cares what they say? It doesn't change anything. It never have, and it never will, unless you allow it to. So, that's my thought of the day. You know, I can go in on this, man, but I don't want to make this video too long. You know, like, share, subscribe. You know, send me a comment, whatever, man. I like to hear from people, man. You know, I do whatever I can to help because people have helped me. You know, so I'm always looking to give back, man. You know, any advice and stuff like that. But words of advice, man, don't ruin your life trying to impress others because it's not worth it, and they don't care, man. You know, no one cares. No one cares as much as you do. And there's no reason to go all types of lengths and above and beyond just to impress people that really don't care, because they don't. You know, a lot of them is praying for your downfall. A lot of them don't want to see you succeed. So why go out your way to try and impress these people when they don't really want you to succeed? And it doesn't matter how they feel, and they never will, unless you allow it. You allow it because you're in control. You know, if you always have been in control. You know, you just have to realize that. You know, because if you're trying to impress people, you're trying to go beyond, do all this and that. Who's really in control? You know, you're letting what you assume people are going to think, you know, inspire you to do what you do, and it's just like you're giving these people this power and control over you and your decision making and what you do with your life because you want to impress them. And it's like, nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, man. People, you know, people come and go, and people are gonna have opinions and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter. You know, you do what's best for you. You do what's good for you. You do what's best for you, because you are all that matters, not everybody else. What everybody else thinks and says and all this and that doesn't matter. It never does. Never does. But people make it to where it matters, and it really doesn't. You know, because at the end of the day, whatever situation you in, it's up to you to get out of it, not what people say or what people think. So, you know, that's my thought of the day, man. Like, share, subscribe, man. Y'all know the drill. I appreciate it, man. See you when I see you.